know the sound for the sacral. You remember it?
Vom?
I've been bombing.
You're right. When you just said that, that sounds short. My mind is always.
Peace. There's 8 people in here. I was trying to get my bomb on. I didn't know y'all was in here. Peace to you, peace to you, peace to you.
Peace, everybody. Peace.
Peace, Terica.
Yes,
Moderator
yes.
in this thing. Peace,
Yes,
Leslie.
what's
Moderator
up,
number
what's
2
up?
in this thing. Peace,
Yeah.
Justin. Peace, peace, peace.
Man, glad y'all up in here. Yeah.
Yeah, we got a great conversation. As you can see by the title. It's been a lot going on.
Yeah.
So we diving
And it's
in.
on.
Yeah. I just love, as people are coming in, we can give y'all a minute. It's a lot of information we're going to teach tonight. And just because of recent events, it's been confirmed to us that this message is like the spiritual impulse under a lot of things that is happening in the world on the level of the news, the topics that news stories cover, the topics that's all over social media, the stuff that's going viral. Yeah, it's a spiritual impulse behind that, and it is a deeper reason. We're going to go into what we believe is the next phase in the awakening of the planet, which is dealing with sexual energy and balancing sexual energy. So the alignment is perfect. So I'm Camson the Oracle, one half of Remnants Gathering, aka Weirdo Gang.
And I'm Ernest, the other half. A weirdo gang. Yeah.
And yes, we're gonna get into it. We got 10 people in here, so we go ahead and get into it. For those that get in here a little later, it's all good. Peace to you, Al Thretzer. Okay, that's different. Thank you, Justin. So let's get into it because it's good. I can't wait.
Thank you, Justina.
I can't even wait. So, first, before we get started, we're going to go into some Mayan astrology. We're going to go into some Western astrology for what's coming up. I'm going to give you some astrological things that you can use to cultivate your relationship with yourself and with other people. And as again, we mentioned the celebrities.
Peace.
So let's get it in with these celebrities. Let's talk about it. Kirk Franklin situation. He got exposed. He got exposed. You want to do that first?
I thought you want to deal with it, then we.
Okay.
However you feeling.
Well.
Hey, you know what? You just got started on it. Go ahead and let's get into that.
Okay, cool. And then we'll make sure we're gonna go over the astrology after we kind of talk about this a little bit, so that you'll see the connections that of what's happening. So, first of all, when the situation first happened with Kirk Franklin, we usually don't be really caring about what celebrities doing. Give her medicine, PJ. It's in the bathroom. Okay, thank you, baby. We usually don't get into that on the show because it's so much. And my phone is going off. My bad. I'm sorry, y'all.
It's crazy. Both my phone went off at the same time.
But yeah. So when it first happened, this was the very first thing that came to my mind. If you don't know what happened, his son exposed the conversation that they had exchanged, where Kirk was definitely being out of character of what he allows the public to see. And so when I first heard about it, I was just like, I don't know what to feel about this. How would I feel if I was in his shoes? And I was like, I wouldn't feel nothing if I was in his shoes, because I stand on who I am and I own my whole self, shadow and all. But this is what happens when you have religious programming, right? cultural, societal things that have indoctrinated you, and you repress your shadow self. His child exposed his shadow self because the divine feminine is doing shadow work on the planet. Nobody is above it. In some level, shape, or form, it's gonna happen, and we've been saying that. So for his son to be the one to expose him, most of us would have been afraid to expose the stuff that maybe our parents was doing to us.
Well, you know what? It's the age of, like you said, coming into your authentic self. And so coming into your authentic self, you're gonna deal with your issues. And even though he done outed his dad, it's out in his business as well. You know what I'm saying? But he evidently is at that place to where he feel comfortable that this is real to me. You know what I'm saying? And this is how I want to heal, and this is how I want to be set free of anything. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
Another thing is that, remember we've been talking to y'all about conscious parenting? The kids that's on this planet right now, they cut from a different kind of cloth, and they got a whole different kind of reason of being here. They are chaos beings, and they are chaos beings on another level, you know? And so we're going to see this a lot happening. That's why we did the whole online course on conscious parenting. I was like, out of everything we could talk about, when we do courses, we choose courses on what spiritually is going to cultivate us to become our higher selves. So when this happened, I was just like, that's
on the back.
Like, this is exactly what I'm talking about. This is what we've been talking about. It's so important to do this. But I'm going to say this. I don't know if any of this is true. We're just sharing what we've read and heard, okay? So a day after that, it went to another level. The universe was just like, okay, I'm going to let some more stuff come out because I'm doing shadow work, and I'm sick of wearing masks. I'm sick of everybody wearing masks. This information get leaked where you can hear what sounds like his son saying, oh, yeah, you go do that. You go play the music of my abuser. You go play the music by my abuser who molested me. You know, he was just like, what? Classic. Like it's not the first time he's had the conversation. It's not the first time it's happened. So when that happened, I was like, this connects to sacral chakra, sexuality, and conscious parenting and reparenting of yourself. It was more alignment. I was like, we got to talk about this. So, also with T.I. and Tiny and what's going on with them. It's all communicating a spiritual message, you know? And we have been very irresponsible in our ignorance with what we do with sexual energy, with what we're co-creating in this world. A lot of us have been reckless throughout our life. And so now we're being called into consciousness, and to have a level, the level of consciousness that the planet needs to be able to anchor itself in this new energy and continue to evolve. This shit got to come out. So I've been new. I ain't saying I know for sure. I'm just saying I've been picked up on. I can pick up on when people are abusing a certain thing or not. And before even any of this came out in the news, y'all probably did too. You kind of felt it, you know? So we're going to see this a lot. And we're going to see a lot of kids now just not dealing with it because they are being supported. It looks rebellious. And what was so terrible, it just shows you what religion does to you as a parent. You're incapable. You don't feel for real. You think you feel, but you don't.
That's right.
You don't feel for real. To awaken is to feel.
That was the first thing that came to mind when we first caught wind of it, and it was leaked, and we talked about it. I was like, wow. As a parent, that's one of those areas that you sweep it under the rug. You know what I'm saying? And I could see myself in this situation, my old self, from the standpoint of really holding strong to those forms, really holding strong to the forms of the religiosity aspect of it. You know what I'm saying? How will I appear before my peers? You know what I'm saying?
Oh, and let me say this. It's funny you said that because what happens, and we're going to get into this because we can just really read through after this. We just wanted to talk about this first before we get into it. We finna show y'all how the planet's like supporting this shit to happen. You know what I'm saying? We're not excited about people's lives being wrecked. We're excited about destruction of shit that damaged us.
Yes.
So it's not personal, you know.
Exactly.
We're excited about transformation.
Exactly.
And we're excited that Mother Earth is doing shadow work with us.
Exactly.
And that the moons and the stars and the planets are aligning with us so that we can evolve. But anyway.
Ashe, ashe, ashe.
Okay, so what happens with religion is you become so concerned with the outside perception that the true inside integrity is never cultivated. You only cultivate the mask, the shell, the false self. So what happens is
Ego.
you can't you can't be who you really are and be honest and be accountable and own your shit because you feel judged already. You already carry guilt. You already carry shame. So the more that you feel judged for who you are and your actions, the more you're going to project that onto the outside and feel as though everyone is always judging you. So that's really what it's about. And I just discovered this week within myself, that I'm starting to give less and less fucks about how people feel about what I do. Y'all gonna see me doing some wild ass shit soon. And y'all gonna see us talking about some wild shit soon. Yeah, we might seem like we going off of the format. And we probably are, because you cannot evolve unless you let go of form. How do you go through a metamorphosis, you know, without allowing the action of metamorphosis to happen? Right. So I realized being concerned with how people are going to perceive you is because you feel condemned within yourself and you are unable to even see yourself through the eyes of purity and innocence, and that I'm wounded. So that's why so many people can't come out and say, hey, look, I was molested as a kid and I did things with my children that were inappropriate. Most people still can't say that because society has not made it okay for people to be authentic and honest unless it fits into what we consider to be okay on a collective level. That's changing. It's coming to a place now where we're being healed of the internal judgment of self, where we can be more open and live more true and live more free and just be able to own it as much as it may hurt. But and
I think the important part, just to add to what you're saying, I think the important part is for us as individuals to set aside any accolades, any positions, you know what I'm saying, any titles, any places of stature that we've accumulated for the sake of our health, being, and our children's health and well-being. I think we got to deal with this stuff. And so I can't, you know what I'm saying, I'm not in his shoes, and we not in his shoes or his family's shoes, but knowing what we know now and practicing conscious parenting, it's all about healing. It's the bottom line, it's all about healing. So guess what? You know me as being a human being. Yeah, I get up. I'm larger than life, so to speak, but at the same time, I'm still human. And I still go through things, and some shit happened to me that put me in a place to where I have involuntarily or voluntarily did the same thing to somebody else. You know what I'm saying? And it happens. I'm speaking from experience because I know it happened to me on a different level, but some of the things that I experienced growing up and didn't heal from it or didn't address it as I became an adult, then I had children, and I had the tendency of passing down the same issues, the same pain, hurting in the same ways. And so I get it. You know what I'm saying? But as a conscious father, we have to take accountability to the point to where, you know what, I got these issues, and the only, you know, leaning on that whole religious aspect, you overcome from your testimony, right? Ain't that's what it say? We overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the word of our testimony. So all I'm saying is a part of that testimonial part is saying, hey, I got this problem and I'm getting help for it. And then we transmute that over into how we conduct ourselves with our children and our relationships, the whole nine.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, this was the timing on this was impeccable. It's just sending up good vibes and prayers for the family. I know that it's difficult, but again, this is why we did the online course on conscious parenting and reparenting. And when we started digging into it, most of that course was centered around sexuality, sexual impulses, sexual repression. It took a turn that we didn't expect when we started dealing with the core issues and just kept digging deeper to the roots of things.
Yeah.
Yes, parenting issues, reparenting yourself issues are typically stem from childhood and are typically situations that are created by having an unbalanced or overactive sacral chakra. So let's get into it. So we talked about some of the wounded consciousness around sexuality. And if you missed out on that online course, we're going to make it available on the website. We'll try to get it done tonight since I'm saying it, because we've been saying it for about a week now.
Yeah.
We got a life outside of this, but we're trying to do it all. So, thank y'all for being patient. But
We're going to get it done.
It's something that you should watch, whether you have children, whether your children are grown and gone, because you need to know how to reparent yourself. Okay, if you don't know how to reparent, to remother, to refather yourself, then you're just going to continue to project whatever your core wounds are into your reality, and you'll be doing all the other soul work and nothing is changing for you.
Right.
So this is the main cause. Now, the planet is anchoring in divine feminine energy, and she is calling for greater connections between ourselves and with one another. The new earth is exposing anyone who is misusing this energy one by one. This is the reason recapitulation to remove the energetic worms programmed in the sacral chakra to clear out anything causing it to be imbalanced. We taught how to recapitulate in that course. Now, there is a gang member who came out, I think his name is Morningstar, saying that he was bisexual, and I found it a really interesting story. I posted on the community tab what I felt about it, and which was, in the effort for us to go into balance, we need to be honest. He was honest. He did something that most black men don't have the courage to do. Yep. Kudos to him for that. We need more honesty. That was my fault. I could care less whether not he like men, women, both. Was he pansexual, transsexual, bisexual, asexual? I really don't give a damn.
He kept it honest.
He kept it real.
Yeah.
I had no judgment.
You respect it.
Yeah. So, you have to respect people when they own who they are, especially when who you are doesn't fit into what society has said is okay. So that's just confirmation of how the planet is shifting, where more people are going to own their truth and not give a fuck about what people think about it.
That's right.
And this doesn't mean that you stop caring about people. It just means that you let go of the false self, and when you project yourself to be authentic to who you are, which allows people to feel how they want to feel, and you're no longer trying to control how the fuck everybody feel about what you do. Exactly. There is liberation in that.
Exactly.
Morningstar is also Lucifer. Morningstar is Lucifer and Morningstar is Jesus. And we had a Jesus freak, Kirk Franklin, and a gang member named Morningstar. So you see the Christ consciousness, the Luciferianism. You got Lucifer, which is to illuminate, right? Christ consciousness, which is crystals to awaken, to rise. So you see how the Kundalini energy on the planet is cleaning shit out? And like, look, y'all got to get real. Oh, you're not going to get real? We going to let your son expose you. So this is, you gotta do the shadow work. If you want to grow and evolve, you have to do the shadow work. You have to study so that you can see these things. And we could do this whole show going deeper into some of the metaphysical coding that we see in what's happening, but we're not. That's fun for us. So that would not be us doing our job. But when we do decodings. Y'all enjoy them a lot because we wait till we're inspired to do them. And yeah, so yeah, we enjoy that, but we're gonna keep it moving.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you for that donation, Fly Chick. Yes.
Ashe.
Peace.
Look at them colors. Black
Man,
chick.
sacral.
She got that sacral chakra healing going on. We receive it. 36 to 100-fold. May that return to you, sis. Yes. So as we can see, let's go and say it because we know a lot of people still uncomfortable with this. A lot of people don't like us right now because we've been talking about this on our personal social media, which is something we rarely do. We usually separate what we do here from our personal life, but not anymore. It's 2021. So there are biblical verses that promote sexual avoidance, sexual aversion, and terror. If certain kinds of sexual behavior can land you straight in Satan's hell, then you need to be careful. This hinders and it causes imbalances in your lower chakras. It causes the sacral chakra to be imbalanced, and this is the center from which we create everything. Did you hear that? This is one of the lower chakras that also supports intimacy and what level of intimacy you can function in. I'll let you pick up.
Okay. Yeah. But as we'll soon see, being a Christian does not correlate to being a moral person.
Now, this is a segment of the online course that we channeled and put together before all of this happened. So just so y'all can see how on point spirit be.
In fact, in many cases, it's actually the opposite. Let's take a look at more senseless scriptures and more traditional beliefs that we must renounce by seeing what is wrong with them. Okay, y'all bear with us. If you lust in your heart, you've committed adultery. The sole purpose of sex is to make babies. Jesus or God is watching while you masturbate. Women who have slept with multiple people are whores. Premarital sex is a ticket straight into hell. You're not allowed to be attracted to others when you're married. Homosexuality and lesbianism is abnormal and perverted. Teaching children about sex will increase their chances of engaging in such acts. Pornography is of the devil. It's from the devil. Teaching people about Jesus' plan of salvation will prevent them from engaging in unlawful sex. Women are temptresses and lead men astray, never the other way around. The only appropriate sex position is penis, vagina, missionary, anal, oral, and other types of sex are sinful. Celebrating sex is dangerous. Having lots of sex is inappropriate. Women should always be subservient to men.
So all of this religious programming, it causes a deep fear of rejection, which disconnects us from self and from others. Fear, rejection, shame, and guilt must be healed or in the process of healing to parent in a conscious manner. The sacral chakra is active in children, which stimulates their creativity. This chakra is also the sexual chakra, which means there will be a disconnect between you and your children if these religious programs are still running the show.
Sexual repression leads to perversion.
Did you hear that? So the religion did not assist us in balancing the sacral chakra. And we're going to show you how this chakra was talked about in the book of Revelations as well.
Sexual abuse, if unhealed, leads to a separate self you've totally disconnected from in the effort of being good and righteous in the eyes of God and Jesus. I was obsessed with how I looked in their eyes. This made me be overly concerned with how I looked in the eyes of other Christians as well. This is a severe disconnection from your whole self. To know God is achieved by knowing self, but if we're worried about what others think, parts of ourselves will be avoided if it doesn't fit the typical programming of what's acceptable. The age of Aquarius is releasing us from all the overwhelming concern with others and how they think of us.
So we see that the time of age of Pisces and what we could get away with, we can't anymore. And this is, so basically what we're saying is, if your sacral chakra controls how you co-create your reality, your life, the intimacy, the creativity that you need to, I mean, you have to have creativity to parent, to reparent yourself. You have to have creativity to awaken the soul.
It should be hard.
Look at all the beautiful colors.
Yeah.
May they return to you 36 to 100 fold. Y'all getting it in. Y'all, we love when y'all come through for us with energy like that, like for real. Y'all don't understand. That's something special, you know.
Yep.
It just let us know that you appreciate what we're doing.
Yeah.
And we need that.
Feel it.
Yeah.
Yes.
We cannot do this without y'all support and help and good vibes. Like, this is a we thing, not a us thing. But, so with all of this happening, if you realize this is like right before spring happens, right? That's because this is a time for the old stuff, the cold stuff to die, so that new things can be put in its place. So we're going to continue to see this purging of this, all of us. I believe every single one of us that's watching this video can relate to some form of imbalance with your sacral chakra. And you are starting to see its connection to your life. So let's get into some of the astrology of what's happening, which is why this is a really good time to be working on your sacral chakra. So again, I'm going to explain, as we get further into this, I'm going to make some more connections after we get into some of the astrology. But this is just so the timing is so divine. You can't create shows like this unless it's divine intervention involved. Like, you just can't. So we got a full moon that's coming up Sunday, March 28th. So, baby,
First one. Thank you, Goddess One. Ashe.
Look at y'all.
11,
Come
11.
through.
Yes.
May they return to you
Gratitude.
36 to 100 fold.
Yeah,
11. Look at them numbers. Y'all, those numbers activate us when we see them. That's why I be telling people, be conscious of where you're investing your energy and your currency. And when you invest in good ground, you're gonna see breakthroughs and get differences. For real.
Sequoia.
So that's a big deal, y'all. For
Much
real.
love right back to you. Yeah.
So the full moon occurs Sunday, March 28th, when the sun is going to be in Aries, and it forms an opposition to the Libra moon. So the first moon, full moon of spring, is going to be in the sign of Libra, which calls for balance, right? So it's a time of culmination and the promise of fulfillment of something begun at the new moon. Heightened emotions, romance, fertilization, relationship, drama, and epiphanies are themes. The Aries-Libra polarity is a relationship axis, where Aries represents the self and Libra represents other. Y'all hear this? Ashe, man, that return to you 36 to 100. Oh, we like to talk about how the Bible is not right and then use scriptures to make sure that you receive blessing on what you gave. That's real sovereignty, where you just like, yep, I ain't throwing the baby out with the bathwater. That part right there. That's a hermetic law, and it was hid in the Bible. It's something else, the law of reciprocity. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's when you know you really get free.
Right.
You're getting free, man. Okay. So the Aries-Libra polarity is a relationship axis where Aries is the self and Libra represents others. Where Aries is all about self-assertion, Libra is about compromise. With the Libra moon, we're especially aware of our need for relationships and all that comes with maintaining them. Compromising, negotiating, graciousness, and balancing. The Aries sun, on the other hand, is self-assertive, leading, and personally courageous. This is so beautiful because his rising sign is Aries and my rising sign is Libra. So when this happens within our relationship, we get activated by the planetary alignment, and then we can come together and hit y'all with some shit.
Yep.
You know, that was aligned with the sun and the moon sitting in our sign. Like, so we be tested like a mud in our relationship during times. That's the myth. I think that's some Memphis shit, like a mug.
Yeah.
But that just means greatly tested for those of you maybe who never heard that before. So this full moon, I had to translate, you know, like a mud up in that jug.
They know it's motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? They're short. Mug is short. Yeah.
So this full moon urges us to strike a balance between meeting our personal needs and attending to the needs of a significant other, and between independence or autonomy and dependence or companionability. Companionability.
You see it?
That is a hell of a word.
Companionability.
The Libra moon is diplomatic, equally focused, and fair-minded. The Aries sun values authenticity over tact and is energized by independent efforts. So the full moon illuminates this conflict. Relationship epiphanies will be occurring now like never before. With this coming up, we really be watching. I'm telling y'all. It's
This the time.
The Awakening is making a great damn movie. And we're all cast as a role, and you choose your narrative. You feel me? Use this information to choose your narrative. So the full moon illuminates this conflict. Relationship epiphanies occur now. We're likely to experience revelations about our independence, need for others, and partnerships. Venus aligns with the sun in this lunation chart. And Venus rules the Libra moon, making this configuration particularly useful for resolving conflicts. Saturn is trying the North Node, and Mars is conjunct the North Node, and Saturn harmonizes with the sun and the moon. There can be helpful interactions with your superiors or with older or more experienced people, and benefits can come as a result. There can be a choice to structure, limit, or simplify our lives in a significant way that leads to major improvements. We're a little more careful and conservative now, but we're also up for a challenge if it means we're growing and learning. This phase of the moon occurs at 8 degrees and 18 minutes of Libra. Look at all that 8 up in there. New beginning, that is the number of new beginnings. Affecting people with personal planets and points at 4 to 12 degrees of the cardinal signs, which are Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn. So you will be affected the most significantly by this planetary alignment. Now we're going to get into what does the Mayan calendar have to say about what to expect.
Okay. And so today is a red rhythmic moon, according to red rhythmic earth, according to the Mayan calendar. And this is a powerful day as it has the master numbers of 333. Y'all know, March 21st, 21.
Yep.
333. Be willing to break open the constraining shells of past patterns, the shackles of old belief structures. Call forth your creative involvement with life. This involvement frees and awakens the powerful energy of the life force, shifting your perceptions and experience, catalyzing the manifestation of your dreams. Participate spontaneously in your growth, unrestricted by the illusion of old structures that once provided safety. Move forward into the light of new possibilities. Offer your dream seed to the universe. In the ordered patterning of the light, align with your heart's greater purpose. In gratitude, surrender and release the seed to the benefit of your growth and its own pattern of perfection.
That's so on point.
Yeah.
That is so on point. We're coming out of the constraints and all of the past patterns and the shackles and the blockages. And in order for that to happen, stuff got to be exposed for growth to happen.
That's right.
So the old structures that seem to have provided safety for us don't anymore.
That's those forms that we've talked about in the past. Letting go of those forms. Yeah.
So, and with the red rhythmic moon.
That's from the Mayan calendar. Yeah.
I organize, this is the wave spell. So every day on the Mayan calendar also contains the influence, the energy that is being used to co-create this new earth. Okay? What, you need something?
No, I was just going to try to drop that in there. But anyway, we
okay.
can continue on.
Yeah. We'll put on the site.
Okay.
I organize in order to evolve. You hear that? It's spring. It's time to organize so that you can evolve. Balancing synchronicity. I seal the matrix of navigation with the rhythmic tone of equality. I am guided by my own power doubled. So this day, the wave spell is yellow human. Shout out to my yellow humans up in here. I already know we got some. And our red rhythmic moons and stars. So the yellow human represents free will, influence, and wisdom. And we're starting to see all of this shit be challenged. You know, the illusion is just breaking down, and the stuff that's been working for people just not gonna work anymore. And we've been saying this for the longest. So because we're living in what they would call the last days or the tribulation or the end times, which we know now, those of us who have awakening, that was the end of an age, that the old age is passing away. So something to meditate on for ascension. Remember too, that your environment, it's alive and it reacts to your awareness of it. Y'all hear this? Your environment is sentient. It is alive. And it reacts to you based on your awareness of it. Therefore, the way you perceive the earth and your physical form affects the information that you receive. So this is why when you see synchronicities, it's wonderful because we got to see how in alignment we were with creating that course. Because now it's being reflected back to us with the headlines and everything that is happening. And so basically using the Mayan calendar and learning your galactic signature, we've done webinars, online courses on that. That's on the website as well. This helps you to know yourself in a way more so of knowing the frequency of your soul, the makeup of who you are. And because we're living in the end times, a lot of people don't know that the 7 churches in the book of Revelations are the 7 chakras, you know, and it talks about 7 a lot. And there are 7 watchers, you know, assigned. So we're going to break down the Swastika chakra, the sacral chakra, and what's happening. We've been dealing with a lot of root chakra stuff all 2020. You know, our safety was shook up. We couldn't go out among people. You know what I'm saying? You didn't feel safe anymore to go out among people.
Right.
So 2020 was like a root chakra.
Survival.
Yeah. Yeah, we were learning how to survive in the new world where at any moment anything could change and whatever you thought couldn't happen can happen. But that's great because some of the impossible things that seem impossible to us that we desire to happen is going to happen under this energy. So you're going to get both sides of everything. To be able to manifest things that are almost impossible, you're also going to have uncertainty happening side by side with it. So with 2021, being that the trumpets have been blown, we heard the trumpets. Like literally, we heard trumpets blowing since 2012, 2011. So many millions of videos, people walking outside hearing this sound, and you don't see where the sound is coming from.
Right.
So like this is the time that the book of Enoch also talked about, where these demons from the abyss would be set free. Well, what are the demons getting set free from the abyss? They are coming from within us.
Exactly.
On a collective level in humanity, the spiritual impulses, these spiritual implants that have been controlling our behavior in our life is coming out of the darkness, out of the shadow, the psyche collective of humanity. So the 7th church, which represents the sacral chakra, is Smyrna. in the book of Revelations. And this is really interesting.
Okay.
I'll let you pick up.
The Church of Smyrna, again, is the sacral chakra. Generally, we have no knowledge of the inner teachings and are attracted.
In a pious way. That's what I was thinking.
Okay. Morality and prejudice in the place of wisdom. We will block the efficacy of this power center if we allow our material interests and overconsumptive sense appetites to trump our inner wisdom and power of discernment. Developmentally, this chakra or church aids our rising out of a group, tribal, or family mindset into individual consciousness. It means we begin to develop a sense of personal identity and personal space. However, if we also have a clear sense for the importance of interpersonal relationships, we can keep our sociability buried and isolate ourselves from others, but that will only block our being able to fully open this important center of spiritual quickening. The promise offered to those who correctly use the sacral chakra is the gift of the crown of life. The symbolic color of this chakra, of course, is orange.
Now, what's interesting is it talks about the crown of life being the treasure or the spiritual gift that you receive from balancing this chakra, right? Okay, but when you look at COVID, corona means crown. So you see how the crown is a disease that has manifested from these imbalances, you know, and it's not just 5G. It's a multifaceted situation that cooked up this recipe of what we're experiencing called reality.
And it caused that whole total reset.
Yeah. So to in the time that the crown is under attack, right? Tapping into the sacral chakra, the Church of Smyrna, you know, focusing on the internal versus the external, focusing on being an individual and becoming more conscious individually and being sovereign. It sounds great, but it's scary as hell. Because you got to face so many demons that show themselves that you never knew before.
Right.
Yours and other people's.
Right.
Your children's.
Right.
And then you got to know how to respond and react to that. So it's, you know, the thing they would say.
It would be an emotional roller coaster. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, I've experienced it as an emotional roller coaster. Sometimes I'm good, sometimes I'm mad as hell. You know, sometimes I'm bitter about something or towards somebody. So, you know what I'm saying? It's definitely a work. You know what I'm saying? And like Cam said, you got to be sensitive to all of it, but you got to allow it to come, and then you got to allow it to go.
Yeah. And just learning how to do that back and forth with life. Learning how to dance with life. Learning how to tap into this energy in a way where it's healing. And learning how to be an individual. That's why we're awakening. We're trying to regain our individuality that was taken away from us when we were born on a planet that has these things called families, which are really prison systems in which you will be indoctrinated to believe whatever the family believes, and you will be forced, coerced, whooped, and abused if you don't get with the program. You're not allowed to be an individual. Born in this world, you must be a clone of whoever's raising you. And you better fit the bill as close as possible. Like, that's the experience.
And then it's so deep that you would get called a black sheep of your family if you don't.
Yeah.
If you buck in the system in any way, if you buck in the traditions, if you know what I'm saying, you're the black sheep of the family.
And what happens when, you know, again, parenting, conscious parenting, it requires you to be creative. So if we came into these families, and it's not to blame the people that raised us and mark them as bad, it's to acknowledge how the hell do we get here. And so this is why getting Kirk Franklin to see something, let's just say allegedly all of this is true, getting him to see that would be next to impossible. Because when you are following a religious belief system, the perception of the light that provides, the perception of morality that you think you have, blinds you to what is actually a part of your repressed self, which is the truth of something you're programming. So it may not be who you are. Okay? So like on a global level, we're going to keep seeing this more and more and more, because we can't go forward like this. We can't continue on like this, where 1 in 3 Black women have been molested by a family member or a friend of the family. Dave Chappelle talked about it in one of the first stand-up comedies he did when he came back, about how much that has happened in the Black family, and especially in the church, and people don't talk about it. In the online course, we went into the statistics of people who are in church and the statistics of people who are Satanists to see which one had the highest level of sexual abuse. And what happens is religion becomes a way of protecting sexual abusers, which is why there are so many sexual abusers in religion, because most people practicing religion don't realize that the foundation of the religion they are practicing is based on blood sacrifice and abusing children. Okay? It's based on marrying little girls as soon as their cycle started, they're considered a woman. You know, when we got into being Hebrew Israelites, that was one of the things that was a little much for us. You know, like, well, damn, we gotta, it's still a child, you know. So, you know, the imbalances that religion causes with the sexual aversion, it leads to perversion. And the only way for us to heal is to begin, you know, being transparent, being real with ourselves, and actually stepping into the act of, not the illusion of, but stepping into the act of truly awakening. To awaken means to feel again and to experience yourself, to experience your whole self. And it's hard. When you good and you great and people praising you, it feels great. But when you bad, it feels really terrible. This is why most people don't do shadow work. Because it's just too much.
You don't want to deal with yourself.
It's too much.
Yeah.
So we are seeing on a global level the sexual implications of having an imbalanced sacral chakra. Remember, this chakra controls what we procreate. If there are imbalances, you will have imbalances in the things that you co-create in your life. Becoming your higher self is procreation. We have to die over and over again, being reborn over and over on the path of awakening. So it's best to work on this chakra with sound healing, affirmations, sensual, pleasurable practices, and using the sounds bomb, typically 180 times, with your hand on your chakra, which is right below your navel. Eating oranges, healthy foods like yams, orange bell peppers, oranges, apricots, and carrots, just to name a few. And I also have a potion that I'm working on for this, because I was waiting, like, you know, what chakra do we need to work on next? And I don't want to just do some shit just to be doing some shit. You know, I was waiting for a sign from source as to what magic do I need to allow come through me for the collective to help people. And so now that I know for sure this is what it is, so I'm gonna make this be my very first sacral chakra potion. And for those of you who got the potions I've done in the past, y'all know to read the reviews. They work, you know, they work. And it take you to a whole other place in your spiritual practice. It amplifies and supports in what you're already doing. So if you feel like you need a boost, make sure that you go to the website, remnantsgathering.com, because as soon as it is done, I'm going to post it there for purchase. So this particular chakra, since the first full moon of the spring is in Libra, and that is the zodiac sign of balance, I'm going to be charging these sacral chakra potions with the frequency of the crystal bowl and also the full moon in Libra to enhance balance. Okay?
Thank you, Daniel.
And I'm still channeling Ashe.
Thank you, man.
May that return to you 30, 60, 100 fold.
Yes.
See, this is true abundance. It's when you can let go of currency or even let go of a mindset to receive more. This is what true abundance is, where we're supporting each other.
That's right.
You know, and this, we got to come out of this. That's why it's important for you to have your sovereignty back, so that you can see, I am an intricate part of this. You know, so yes, thank you, y'all. We really, y'all don't even know how much we were so excited to do this show. And right before the show, I was losing energy. It was like I got hit with a beam or something. I was just like, oh my God. But I was just like, okay, ancestors, you know what I'm saying? Go to the altar, and I'm pushing through. So yeah, but be on the lookout for that, because I'm going to do a sound bath with these potions. I'm going to charge them in the full moon. Y'all already know you always go have at least 10 different herbs infused in these potions, several different kinds of crystals used in my potions. And I have something new that I'm going to be doing with my potions very soon. And I will be sharing more about that with you, with everyone. I always write a blog on what inspired me, how to use it, what's in it, what the benefits are, and all of that. So because this is your center of creativity, sexuality, one-on-one connection, and the seat of your personal fulfillment, it is from here that we develop our personal boundaries and discover what wants and desires we have for ourselves and how to make them happen in this world. Did y'all hear that? So I know we're not the only ones who notice we don't have healthy personal boundaries, especially with our family. We came from a programming that you don't set personal boundaries with your family. You know, you let your family do whatever the hell they want to do to you and suck that shit up, pray about it, act like it didn't happen. Weren't no boundaries. We weren't even allowed to close our damn door in our generation growing up. If your door was closed for too long, it meant you was doing something wrong. You better open that damn door. You ain't paying no bills in this house. You don't pay no rent. You better open my damn door. And then once you get to the level where you can open your door, you better not lock that bitch. Let them grab that doorknob and it's locked. Your ass might finna get your ass beat. So like we're coming into new energy where like we can laugh about it now, but that shit was traumatizing for us. That's traumatic. That's like, damn. So my home not even a sacred space for me. You know, like it's just it's crazy where we have come from. So we know that having boundaries is so important because you have to teach people how to treat you.
I mean, it's so important that fast forward, we're adults and now we're learning that, it's important that I put boundaries in place on everything, dealing with everything. You know what I'm saying? For so long, like she said, boundaryless. So me dealing with that whole nice guy thing, you know what I'm saying? That's what that created in me. To being a nice guy, you know what I'm saying? From all of that growing up, you know what I'm saying? And then I get to the point to now that I'm awakening and I'm like, okay, definitely no more Mr. Nice Guy. I ain't gonna be no asshole, you know what I'm saying? But fuck all that, you know. But it taught me to set boundaries. It taught me to be mindful of what I don't like, and what I'm going to accept and what I'm not going to accept. But man, the whole aspect of how you raised, man, that shit is ooh-wee.
Yeah. It's heavy. And you go back, y'all, for those of you all who have experienced any type of religious program, and I'm telling you, the last online course we just did, like that tool right there, we gave so many tools for healing that you can use through that process. Because y'all, I'm telling y'all, one of the most nefarious, insidious things on this planet is religion. Not spirituality, religion. And religion has given a safe space for us to do shadow shit, but not have to be accountable for it. And as the illusion, the matrix of 3D is deconstructing, we're going to see this more and more because on a collective level, we got to admit to some shit. And we got to be real. But if you don't have boundaries, that's because you got a false self that you operate in, which makes you feel like having boundaries is wrong, or, you know, or it might make you look like a bitch, or it might make you seem like you're uncaring, or it, you know, like it was so many things. So awakening and becoming sovereign and becoming an individual, that means that you're probably going to start doing things, wearing things, drinking things, eating things that nobody in your family or in your circle of influence does. So, you know, that's one of the reasons why we call ourselves Weirdo Gang Gang, because like we're just unique, we're peculiar, and
we're
we're
gonna
not
continue to be
exactly
as we evolve.
exactly. So, so if for no other reason, if you have difficulty enforcing healthy boundaries with people or in your relationship, you know, this is definitely going to be something that's going to help you be able to do that. Now, when it is, and that's for your children too, because sometimes you need boundaries for them to say, hey, this is mommy's free time. I just need 30 minutes to do my bath, and whatever you need, I'll do it when I'm done. You know, just healthy boundaries. So when the sacral chakra is balanced, what does it look like? What does it feel like? So the person will feel friendly. You will be optimistic. You will be concerned for others. You will have a sense of belonging. You will be creative, imaginative, intuitive, attuned to one's own feelings. This is what we've been disconnected from that. And have a good sense of humor. When your sacral is balanced, those are some of the things that you will begin to see more of show up in your day-to-day life.
Confidence. Let's hear.
Now, when the sacral chakra is deficient, often that person will feel extremely shy, timid.
Thank you, Dakini.
Ashe.
May they return to you 30, 60, and 100-fold. Yes, gratitude.
Ashe.
Ashe.
Maybe you feel immobilized by fear. When you can't push through fear, I was realizing this today. I was just like working on my sacral chakra is helping me to dissolve fear. It's so crazy. But because it's just like, why in the hell am I allowing fear to paralyze me? And I don't even know if the thing that I fear is going to happen if I do the thing that I'm thinking about doing. You know, and it's just, it's crazy because I just realized that was something that was happening, that I wasn't even doing it for that reason, but that is another balance that you receive back where you're able to feel the fear and do things anyway. Now, you might be overly sensitive, okay? Maybe you're self-negating, very negative towards yourself. Maybe you're resentful. Or maybe you have buried emotions. You're burdened by guilt. All of these things show up when your sacral chakra is deficient. You're distrustful. You're clingy. Guilty about sex. I dealt with that a lot. Like, while I was trying to practice Christianity, every time I had sex, I felt like I just had did the worst damn thing in the world. And that if I took my last breath, I was definitely gonna knock the bottom out of hell. That, you know, that's traumatic. That's so traumatic. That removes the ability to see sex as innocent and sacred. Because you've been trained to see it as something the enemy or woman will always use to harm you. So anyway, I would feel real guilty when I would have sex. Y'all don't even understand. I would give tithes and offerings the Sunday after that. Like, that shit definitely benefited the church. Because I was having sex a lot. So
you was giving, what'd you say, you was giving plenty of money?
Man, well, I try to make sure I was covered. For real. I ain't gonna even tell y'all how much money I would give after I had a sexual escapade. Shit. I got receipts.
God wasn't studying about your money.
Shit. God told. If the pastor told me you've been saying it all weekend, you've been screwing, and you need to give to show God that you serious, because your heart go follow your money. Yeah, your heart go follow your money. The treasures are where the heart is. Yeah. And so if you really treasure God, you would give God your money.
Man.
I was trying to.
Hey, they buttered that one up then. Hey, look, that's all the churches. That's everywhere. Like, shit, what churches ain't got everybody fucking? You know what I'm saying? Like, what kind of shit is that?
Man, I was just, I carry guilt on a level where I just felt like I was one of the worst humans on the planet. And it made me feel unworthy. It made me feel unworthy. If you feel like you're not worthy to be loved by the God who created you, you know what I'm saying? Then
That's
you're
true.
not going to feel any self-worth for yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I thought something was wrong with me. I thought I was broken. I'm like, if I'm a Christian, this should be simple. I should just be able to ask Jesus to help me and be done. But
That wasn't it.
no, it did not. It was just, it gave me the illusion, but it wasn't really any balance there.
Yeah.
Some other signs may be, and maybe you're not guilty about sexual stuff, but maybe you have difficulty conceiving, and it's conceiving physically, actually having a baby, and even conceiving ideas, business ideas, projects, event, things you want to try to do.
That's that being creative.
Yeah. So you have a blockage there, or a writer's block. All of that stuff is imbalanced sacral chakra. Maybe you've dealt with being abused a lot. Maybe you're frigid, or if you're dealing with impotency, it could be a sign that your sacral chakra needs healing, and that's how it can manifest in men. So
that's crucial.
yeah. So when the sacral chakra has excessive energy, then that person may be emotionally explosive and aggressive, overly ambitious, manipulative, caught up in illusion, overindulgent, self-serving, and have obsessive thoughts of sex and see people as sexual objects and not people, not souls. So those are some of the symptoms of overactive. Woo! So
It's crazy how you can have some aspects of the overactive or the excessive energy,
you have a mixture
as
of all
well,
of them.
as well as the deficiencies. Yeah.
So it's definitely a lot of work to be done with working with this energy. Some crystals that you could use to work with this energy would be carnelian. Okay, that's a carnelian crystal. I love carnelian. It feels like the power of the sun. And also fire agate. That's fire agate. And we actually have fire agates available on the website. And we have sleeping mask with fire agates attached to the sleeping mask that you can use to amplify your meditations and your lucid dreaming as well. So if that's something that interests you, let us know. Doing the sleeping mask was an idea that I channeled when I first really started working on my third eye chakra, and I didn't even realize how beneficial that really was. And so I made one for myself, and I was like, the hell, like, this makes perfect sense. When you're asleep, you're not in your ego. When you're asleep, you're more in a receptive state of being, right? And so using crystals during sleep is definitely going to amplify whatever intentions you are setting before you go to sleep. So those are some crystals that you can use. Any orange, red crystals are good. Even moonstone is good for healing the sacral chakra. So those are some of the ways that you can use crystals to heal with this. And like I said, I'm still channeling the ingredients for the sacral chakra potion. I got very inspired by a lot of what was happening and looking at the astrology of what was happening, both Mayan and Western. So yeah, this is a good time to, y'all start cultivating yourself so that you can come from, you're able to step into life more whole. And, it's one of those things where I was telling Ernest, I was just like, typically what happens when people have sexual and things that happen to them sexually, and then they get money and power, and you put all that together, and then you take it and put it in religion, you're gonna get some pretty terrible stuff from those things. So the sexual repression, right?
Yeah.
it doesn't help, because it's the priest who assists in sex trafficking. To keep, we remember the whole documentary about the boys. It was a pastor who was helping to organize this sex trafficking ring, this pedophilia ring. Like, it's an uncomfortable truth and thing to talk about, but it's necessary. So one thing that you can do to help yourself is by healing yourself. Again, there's no way around this. And I feel like a lot of us still have issues. Even when I do readings with people, when I get into the sexual part of the reading, a lot of times, clients get quiet, or they're like, I didn't notice that I had some things that I was uncomfortable about talking about this, even though I'm grown. And, and that's just a sign also that there's some more healing that needs to be done. So we're going to be delving into talking more about the sacral chakra, sexual energy, creativity, and procreation, and co-parenting. Like, we're going to stick on this topic because the universe keeps showing us that on a collective level, it would be beneficial for us to be working on these things.
Yeah, it's almost like, we light years behind.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But this is the new norm, which it should have always been the norm.
Yeah.
But yeah, the time now is for us to be focusing on our healing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we're starting to see more and more people talking about it. More and more platforms are dealing with the mental health issues and things like that, and it's just so important. I mean, we think that things won't get any better, and then at the same time we think things can't get any worse in some aspects. But it will if we don't put any energy, time, and attention to making a difference within ourselves, first and foremost.
Absolutely.
But yeah.
And I want to add this one thing too. Let's just say nothing we said tonight resonated. Okay. Let's just say you really couldn't connect to any of this content as far as some of the phases of spiritual awakening that we're going through. Even in the event of that, all of us were created by sexual energy. So whatever issues our biological parents had, we have by default. It's called epigenetics or generational curses.
Yep.
So the daughters, the children that I had, right, their eggs were already in me when I was in my mother's womb. When my mother was in her mother's womb, her eggs, which created me, were already in her. So it just goes to show you how intertwined and overlapping this is. So even if you feel like, well, I think I'm pretty, good in that area. Well, if you came through someone who was impacted by these programs, then yes, there is some stuff you go have to deal with. Yeah, it's probably really deep into your psyche, into your subconscious, unconscious mind.
You never really have been challenged to the point to where any of the stuff then had to come to the surface. That's probably what it is, because we laugh about it now that we're aware to these things. But man, I be doing some shit that be like, damn, I did that. Like, for real. I got a habit of explaining myself. Like, we could be talking about something, and something as simple as, okay, all right, I got it. And I'll find myself still going on. And it's like I can have explanations for explanations for explanations. And it was just funny when we was talking about it, and Cam was like, babe. I said, okay. Oh. But what was so funny about it is that's exactly what my parents do. Both of them the same way. I was like, yeah, that's funny.
So some stuff
That's
you're
funny.
just not aware. You're just unaware of it yet.
That
you
shit
know?
is funny.
Yeah.
For real.
So that's why we're awakening. And I was just like, it drives me fucking nuts. I'd be like, I got you, babe. Yeah, no. But you know what I'm saying? You know, like when you walk in the house, I'm finna give y'all an example. I have to. He brought it up. I wasn't gonna bring it up, but let's share some shadow shit. Shall we?
Yeah. Because I be ignoring you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that shit crazy.
Yeah. And I'd be like, yeah, babe, I remember that. And he'd be like, no, we was riding, and I'm like, yeah, I told you I remembered it. Now on that day it was raining, and I remember that day. And then I'll even add some details and like, yeah, because I had this on and that, and I had just bought that pair of boots, and then he'd be like, yeah. But you know, and like it comforts him. And it's a coping mechanism that he developed that was passed down to him that he wasn't even aware of. And I was like, babe, you're unconscious that most of the conversations that we have are you explaining redundant things. And for many years, I've just sit and just listen. And I'm just like, you know what? Let me enforce my boundaries, babe. Look, once I tell you I get it, I got it. Now I'm giving you a boundary, and I will be enforcing it, but I'm making you aware of it. And you know, yeah. So it's just that's just an example of what we're talking about. Yes, and so just remember that in everything you are trying to manifest, you're trying to co-create, you're trying to recreate a better you, right? You're trying to be, you're allowing yourself to be the phoenix that rise from the ashes. You know, you're to do this kind of work and to delve into the darkness. To face demons, so to speak, is what is going to give you power. And truth and honesty, it may not be accepted by other people, but it's going to empower you in the end. So, hey, if you lose some people along the way, that's fine. It'd be better to lose some people and be empowered in your whole self. Know your authentic self from your false self. Know that you are a sovereign being. Exercise your free will, like for real. Use your free will, which means you're going to be messing up some shit. When you're really using free will and you're exploring life, every move that you make is not going to come out the way that you want it to, but you don't allow yourself to not make moves because you're so afraid of making a mistake.
Right.
So all of these things are, you know, Carl Jung talks about the psyche a lot and the subconscious, unconscious mind. So mastering your demons is what's going to give you power, which will allow you to live a life empowered, where you're not having to use force. And it's a difference between power and force. You know, and we have to align with ourselves. And when we listen to these stories, we have to be honest with ourselves, you know, about our own shit, and you know, and being willing to face it and deal with it. It's heartbreaking to know that there are kids who are being raised by people who are religious still to this day. But you see, the age of Aquarius is just like, I'm not going to sit back and let shit happen the way it happened in the age of Pisces. I'm just not. I'm just not. And yeah, it's going to be, this is why we have cameras in our houses now on a collective level where you can see everything going on in the house with homeschool. Like that wasn't just because of COVID. That was because universally, we needed to do shadow work, and some shit need to be seen. And look how many people have saw parents doing some like really crazy stuff while their kids in class. It would have never been known that it was happening. So, you know, it's unfortunate that the faulty foundation and illusion and things that have kept us comfortable are being taken away from us. But look at where it's taken us. It's an investment into the future of having a new earth.
That's right.
And yeah, so, you know, y'all, this was just such a divine show tonight. We hope that this resonated with you guys. Did anybody have any questions before we get off here? We probably could take one or two questions.
Yeah, I think, but it was answered. But yeah, we will still address it.
And did y'all know that the 7 churches was the 7 chakras?
Jody.
Was it any of you that knew that?
Jody Ann.
Oh, okay.
She said she's new to our channel and about learning about chakras. Do you believe that doing yoga help with chakras?
Absolutely. Welcome, Jody. Peace, Jody. Yeah, I definitely think yoga helps with chakras. One of the main things in my own body when doing yoga that I realized, and this is how I knew my sacral was screwed, because my hip flexors get really, really tight. So if you aren't challenging your body, you won't know that you have this tightness there.
Right.
So yoga helps to bring consciousness and awareness to the movement within your body in the areas where there is tension that needs to be released. So working on the hip flexors is something really, really beneficial to do if you're healing your sacral chakra. And again, you cannot separate creativity, procreativity, co-creation, and sexual energy. They are one, and there is no separation.
That's right.
And so if because the people who have taken over the White House have been allegedly exposed to be people who participate in things that are considered insidious and nefarious with children. We're under that energy, and taking that energy sitting in the White House and combining that with the age of Aquarius is going to make for a mess. So the Clinton stuff that got exposed with Monica Lewinsky, that ain't nothing compared to what we're about to see happening. And unfortunately, Trump was doing a good job at dealing with the pedophile rings. More indictments were served during his time in the White House than anybody else. I don't know of anybody else who went after pedophilia rings the way Trump did.
Hell no.
So, that's just my spiel on that. But energetically,
That was the first time that ever came to mass attention from political perspective.
Yeah, I had never heard another president talk about even draining the swamps and dealing with pedophilia and sex trafficking on that level. So
you ain't heard we ain't really heard no presidents talk about corruption in the government since who? JFK.
I feel like they made an example with JFK, and so a lot of presidents after that was like, let's just get with the program. But Trump was a whole Trump card, and he was doing his own thing. Yeah. And not saying we agree with everything, but we've all seen the video footage of Biden seeming to be inappropriate around young girls and saying things to them. So you can't ignore it anymore. Right. And Mother Earth, the universe, the cosmic mother, our ancestors, the ascended masters. I mean, it's so much that we are conscious of that exists as a sentient being than ever before. It's not going to be allowed. The divine feminine is just not going to allow this shit. So I don't know what's going to happen right now with what's going on with the leaders of the free country. But just keep an eye on that, because I foresee in the next 3 years, we're going to see some major changes, even bigger than what we saw in 2020. And it is because of this. It is because of that very dark energy that needs to do inappropriate things to children to feed. That dark energy is being dealt with, and it's going to get imprisoned. That's what's happening. So yes, if your sacral is not balanced, any relationship that you are cultivating, any business that you are creating, any project that you are doing, any idea, everything that you put your hands to is going to be impacted depending on the frequency of your sacral chakra and the programs within.
That's right. Dance of the Sugar Plum Fairy. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Peace to you.
Peace.
How do you stay balanced when being spiritually attacked? Yeah, that's a good question. One of the first things you must remember is that the environment responds to you, right? And that the universe will give you more of whatever you're focused on. So when you're feeling like you're under spiritual attack, one of the best things you can do is to take some steps and do something about it, then shift your focus away from it. and trust that what you did is going to clear it up. So that could be, you know, cleaning your house. That could be using floor wash. That could be using sea salt and putting it in your windows, your doorways. That could be carrying hematite crystals or shungite or any of the black crystals, tourmaline, with you. That could also be, a lot of times spiritual attacks are happening because we're a match to the spiritual attack in that moment.
I was just gonna say.
Yeah. So you want to try to get in tune with yourself. And the more in tune you are with yourself, the less you'll be under spiritual attack. Now, there are just some circumstances that you can't change. Like when we're doing videos and when I'm channeling and the audio goes out and it's out for like a whole 20 minutes. And because I'm channeling, I'm not reading the comments. And so I don't know that y'all can't hear me. You know, shit happens. But I'm able to let it go, you know, more quickly and be like, okay, that was an attack. It's cool. It moved on, you know, and you want to kind of deal with it lightly so that you're not feeding whatever you feel is attacking you spiritually. And another really, really simple thing that you could do is to make sure that you're invoking your own energy before you go to sleep and leave the house.
That's what I was gonna
So
say.
surround yourself with your own
intentions.
right.
Yeah, your mind powers. Man, mind power is so strong. You know what I'm saying? The fact that we can think on something and think on it and think on it and it manifests, it lets you know if you're constantly keeping your mind on being guarded, protected, I'm covered, I'm safe, you know, no matter what you're doing, where you going, but I'm safe and I'm covered. You ain't gonna be no fool with it.
Right.
But you know what I'm saying? That's your aura and that's your intent, then you covered.
And
along with the things that she said.
Right. One of my new most favorite ways of, and then I have a protection potion that was made with the energy of the triple dark goddesses as well. That's on the website. There's so many herbs and crystals in there that have metaphysical benefits of protection. That's something that can help as well. But another thing is I ground myself every single day into the core of Mother Earth. And I ask her to support me, to guard me, and to guide me. And I thank her for supporting me. And you know, the reality of it is we're created of clay of the earth, basically. And we must return to the earth when we die. We return this body back. So that's how powerful the earth is that earth is a sentient being that supports life. And so having more oneness with nature helps you to feel protected. Having plants and flowers in the house helps with protection. Anytime you're bringing nature into something, it's going to provide balance and harmony. So that's something else that you could use as well. And so just visualizing yourself. I have a womb meditation, a Mother Earth womb meditation that was created for this purpose as well. So check out some of the meditations on our channel that we created. And we also have a meditation playlist called Relax, Meditate, Visualize. There's a part 1 and a part 2, over 500 videos in both playlists. You will definitely find something in there that's going to support whatever it is that you're wanting to do.
Last person said, "That's Beef the Dawn. Peace to you. My whole life it's been a lie, like a Tyler Perry movie. I foresaw it. I had surprise gifts that reappeared 10 times stronger. I've seeked this path since 5 and need help with gifts. What advice do you have?"
Yeah, definitely you knowing yourself. So learn your galactic signature. This is deeper than your natal. It's a more it is an explanation of your spiritual gifts, right? That's based on the frequency of the planets and the alignment of them when you were born. So learn your galactic signature if you don't know. That is one of the most powerful ways that you could be able to get ahead of the simulation that we are living in and start creating your own narrative. Again, to know God is to know thyself, and to know God is basically to know source, the creation of all things, and to have a oneness and a connection with that stream of energy, prana, chi, life force. The next thing, and if you don't know how to find your galactic signature, we did webinars on that as well, which is on the website.
It's a free one.
It's a free one
on the website.
Do the free one first.
Yeah.
And then if you want to go deeper, we even did shadow work with the galactic signature. So like we've been doing shit that nobody else had even thought to do, just on our journey of looking for tools to help us, and so just share them with y'all. So we always have a free webinar before whatever course we do. We always give a lot of free stuff before we do it, and then when we do the course, we give away a lot more free stuff. So you're not just getting a course, but you're getting free stuff too. You know, so yeah, all of that stuff that's on our website will help you on your path. That's why we're doing what we're doing. Yeah. So, yeah, that was it. Yeah, this was amazing.
We appreciate y'all.
Yes.
Everybody in the chat,
Yes.
from the moderators to each and every last one of you, just family, y'all. We appreciate you.
Yes, we do.
Yes.
We do. It's real over here, you know? And I don't know. Becoming awakened means feeling things you never felt before, thinking thoughts you never thought before, having experiences you've never experienced, and it is filled with fear. This path is filled with fear because you are carving a path and it is uncertain. You don't know what's ahead, but we are equipped for this. Okay? Yes, we're having to carve our own path on this planet, but we came here equipped with gifts to help us do that. And there are just powers and forces outside of us that have been, and inside of us that have been suppressing and repressing, you know, these gifts. They're coming online, which is why we see so much happening with the jab, with the virus, with the pandemic. You know, it's all happening because this ascension, this descension, this wholeness is so powerful that it's shifting a paradigm where the people who once held power would not hold the power anymore. The most powerful person in the world is not the richest person in the world. The most powerful person in the world is one who knows themselves and can master themselves. So that is true power.
That's true.
Yeah.
Some of the richest people in the world, man,
Are
fall
void
apart.
of power. Yeah. So we want to just remember what we're talking about, okay? Because together, each one of us, we are having a role to play in what's being created. And what you do day to day, it impacts the whole planet. It absolutely does. That's great. But it's also a reminder that you have to be accountable for whatever it is that you're creating or co-creating. And we're not going to always get it right. We're going to make mistakes, you know. But being able to say, hey, I fucked up, you know. Just that first part, being able to just accept the fact that, okay, maybe that wasn't the best thing to do, then healing can happen. But if you cannot accept it once you become aware of it, healing is not going to happen. You must acknowledge it. You must accept it. To love self is to have radical self-acceptance. To love yourself unconditionally. And for many of us, even if it wasn't sexual abuse, again, maybe our mothers were sexually abused. Some of us could be products of rape and just don't know, you know? So we want to tap into this energy because the divine feminine energy is present right now to heal that. And man, hands down, all of the successful businesses from this point forward in the age of Aquarius will be businesses where people who were able to cultivate their sacral chakra and the energy and of what that creates with the divine feminine energy. Like that's going to create a successful business venture. That's going to create, so we're going to see more harmony and more balance because divine feminine is taking over the economy. It's taking over, you know, that's why it's a more passionate economy. We're learning to do things that we love to do to be able to have sources of income through doing things we're passionate about.
Right.
And so in order for this to keep happening, we need to be coming from a healthy perspective with sexuality, the way we're parenting and co-parenting, okay? And treating each other and the level of intimacy that we have with each other and ourselves. May they return you 36 to 100 fold.
Thank you. Well, that's
Yeah.
the King's Corner podcast. Yeah.
What's up, fam?
Yeah, thank you.
So, you know, Y'all showed up for us. We showed up for y'all. It was a beautiful energy exchange. You know, ain't no it's just really good when energy is reciprocated.
That's
you
right.
know.
That's right.
So yes, I also posted 3 free rituals. Those are rituals that's lit on the website remnantsgathering.com. Today is spring equinox, the first day of spring. Use this energy for something. Go check out those rituals if you haven't. It's going to help you to manifest and have more clarity and more intention on what it is that you are manifesting. Okay. So you can do either of those that's listed on there, whichever one you might have the ingredients to. You know, I wanted to create it where you didn't need a lot of stuff and you had options. And so that was just channeled to me through talking with the goddesses that I work with. So check that out. And we want to see pictures. Send us some pictures of you doing your work. We want to see, are you going to do an altar? How are you going to set it up? Are you going to do the egg petition? You know what I'm saying? Like doing that and that's tapping into your magic. So y'all, we cannot be under all of this awakening energy and we're not using it to co-create anything with it. That makes you just as bad as anybody else. Maybe magic is not how you co-create. Maybe it's meditation for you. Maybe whatever it is, make sure that you're investing energy and anchoring the energy of love on this planet and self-acceptance. You know?
Oh, thank you too, Miss Loving
Yeah.
Light. Yeah.
All right, y'all. So we're going to ease out of here. If you want to get a reading, just go to the website again, remnantsgathering.com. If you just want a spiritual consultation, we can do that too. We're going to be doing more relationship, stuff because, the energy is just calling for it. A lot of us don't know how to be intimate with ourselves. We don't know how to feel our feelings unless they're good feelings. A lot of us are dissociative. A lot of us have insecure love attachments. A lot of us are dealing with codependency. A lot of us were abused by
PTSD.
narcissists. A lot of us are dealing with PTSD and don't even know that that's what it is. A lot of us are dealing with depression. And a lot of the mental, instability we're seeing on a collective level is because of the spiritual things that need to be healed. And we're coming out of psychosis, We're awakening. And that's to come out from under the spell. That's to come out of psychosis. And so, we just, we're thankful. We're grateful. And we're always adding something new to the website and always making something accessible.
Diving deep.
We will be having some guests coming up on the show that you all have not seen on our show before really soon. We're really working on expanding and evolving and just really being able to pack some information in for y'all. So it's all love. And I believe in you, and I know that y'all believe in us. We believe in y'all. We believe in y'all. And we want y'all to believe in y'all. So, let's co-create. Let's keep co-creating and cultivating a sacred space on this planet where people can be authentic. Where people can be authentic. And hopefully with all that is happening, these rebellious ass sacred rebel children continue to just call their parents out on shit that's just not, it's not happening. It's not acceptable. It's harmful. It's toxic. It's not beneficial. And guess what? If that's what it is, it's going to get exposed. So either you do the shadow work and go into it and work on it or heal it, or circumstances just going to set up to just expose it for you.
Being the change agents, being the agents of change.
That's right.
To set a new precedence for how our children have come up, you know what I'm saying, and are coming up. The next generations, you know what I'm saying. If we don't change now and we don't do anything different, it'll continue to get worse and worse and worse and worse.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We gotta wake up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So this is a safe space for you to be you. Because we know y'all weird as hell, and it is what it is.
Yes.
And we are too. We're going to rock together and just continue to spiritually grow and evolve and support each other. So, for those of you who've been with us for a minute, y'all already know what we've been doing. You know what I'm saying? We ain't got the next course set up yet because we want y'all to tap into this last one before we do the next one. All of our courses always follow a certain order. In the way we release them for different phases of the collective and what we're experiencing and the shifts that we are experiencing. But yes, go and check out those courses so that when we get ready to do the next one, you'll already be up to date so you can just jump in. It makes it a lot easier to just jump in because we're always going up a level with each thing that we do as we are learning and evolving.
subscribe to the site.
Yes.
Go ahead. If you haven't,
Yes.
go ahead and subscribe to the site. Again, www.remnantsgathering.com. From that point, you will be notified as to when we have events coming up, webinars, whatever we're doing. You know what I'm saying? It's a ton of information that you'll be enlightened with.
Yeah.
So definitely go and be a subscriber and a member of the site. In the next few days, we will have the paid webinar available.
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely. All right. So here we go. You ready? You ready?
Man, your third eye has just been kissed. Peace.